guys, welcome back. I'm Amaka and I have been off YouTube for personal reasons. My mental health was more important. But yeah, I promised sometime during the year that I was going to do a video trying to answer questions about the UK generally, coming to work in the UK, the foundation program, gather information. Recently, I did a poll on Instagram and I got a ton of questions. I got about 15 questions, and I'm going to hopefully try to answer all of them today. And this is not my usual background, but I just want to get this done and over with. I started getting a flood of questions from a lot of people. So hopefully one of these 15 questions or the whole procedure would answer some of the questions, So if you're watching this and you know someone that this would help, kindly share this link with them. You could ask them, you could send them my way as well, but I probably would still refer them here. I'm going to try to be as extensive as I can. Now, I'm hoping to talk about everything from, doing your master's in the UK, answering questions that were sent in, foundation program, residency, GMC questions, all of that. So I'm just going to read through all the questions I was sent and try to answer them as much as I can. I'm going to share my screen for most of the part so you can actually see steps to getting to these things. I reckon this is going to be a very long video, right? So I'm going to try and see if I could do it 10, 15 minute sessions each, just so we don't get too crowded. So grab your coffee, grab your popcorn. Let's get started. All right, so I would start by reading the questions that were here. Let me see if I can share my screen. Share screen, let's share the notes. Okay, so here, let's just put this one out. Wait, there's no way I could block this out now, is there? There is, perfect. These are like personal stuff. But yeah, so let's just take a look at the questions here. You can see that we had about 15 questions. So different people. Number one, can you write Plab whilst doing the masters? When you are done with the masters, can you extend your visa and come back for some years, or you'll be asked to leave the country immediately, like how Ukraine does? Can I know? Because I know Canada gives the opportunity to extend, but someone told me the UK, you cannot. Can you work while schooling? And how is the job opportunity like there? Is it that you cannot do FP1? I think she meant FY1 over there, maybe because you're a foreigner. I'd like to get information on how to work in the UK and have a permit. For me, I need to know the options available to international medical graduates and steps towards achieving a medical career. We know everyone shouts Plab 1 and Plab 2, but what exactly happens after the exams? And completion of GMC registration and all, is it easy to get a job, or that's another hustle? How easy is it to get into residency over there? Are there more exams to write? So these are 15 questions, right? I'm just realizing it's a lot, it's very long. So I'm going to try to start from, I'm going to see if I can group them in, and let's see if we can answer all the, let's start with the Plab questions. Let's start with the Plab questions. That's probably going to be draining. So let's start with the Plab questions. So let's pick number, so number 1 has to do with masters. Number 2 has to do with masters. Number 3, masters. Number 4 is a Plab. No, number 4 is not for Plab. Number 5, I'd like to get information on how to work in the UK. For me, Plab, of course. All right, so number 8 is a post-Plab question. On completion of GMC registration, is it easy to, and that's a job. How is it to get to register? How is it? Plab 2. All right, so there are no direct Plab questions here. Praise God. All right, so let's move on then and go to the masters. So there are a couple of questions here on masters. So let's start with number 1. Can you write Plab whilst doing the masters? Simple answer, yes. Complex answer, it depends on you. So like I said, it depends on you, it depends on what you want to do, it depends on what goals that you've set out for yourself. Don't feel too comfortable with this thing here. So it depends on, what goals that you've set out for yourself, what you want to do, what you really set your mind to do. You can do anything you set your mind to do. So if you decide that yes, you're going to do Plab while writing your masters, you can do it. A lot of people have done it. So that is number one. Can you write Plab while doing the masters? Short answer, yes. How do you go about it? That depends on you and how you plan. Number two, when you're done with masters, can you extend your visa and come back for some years, or you'll be asked to leave the country immediately, like how the Ukraine does? Because I know Canada gives the opportunity to extend, but someone told me you cannot. Now, when I did my master's here in the UK as well, I did a master's in public health. When I did it, you were not allowed to stay back. The only time you can stay back is if you have some right to stay. So maybe you have a residency of some kind. Now, if you don't have that, you were given probably a month, 3 months, 4 months, dependent on your visa, and then you had to leave the country. Sorry. But now I've heard that they're giving a 2-year post-study visa. So right now, I think based on that, you're allowed to stay for 2 years, I believe, and then you look for a job where you do whatever. So things have changed since I think sometime last year. So now you stay back and you can look for a job, prepare or whatever after you're done. So that's that. Question 3, can you work while schooling? And how is the job opportunity like? I need to have a timer set. Now, yes, you can work while schooling. Is it easy to get the job? Again, there's no direct answer to that. I know people who, I, for one, when I was studying, I was working and I got a job fairly easily, right? But then again, I know people who were not able to get jobs. I know people who had to do more difficult jobs. So when you get a job, it probably depends on where you're going to be. Obviously depends on you too. Are you putting yourself in the right places? Are you searching the right places? Now, as a doctor, which I believe most people who are listening to this would be, you probably would have an advantage if you are looking for a care job or a support worker job or a healthcare assistant job. Yeah, but then again, it depends on where you're going to be, and those jobs they're pretty decent in pay, right, in comparison to other jobs. But then there's other jobs. There's jobs with Amazon. You could be a pickpacker. There's jobs, and there's a lot of jobs. The only thing about the jobs is you're going to have a restriction when you're on term time. Term time is when you're officially in school. So you'd normally only be able to work for 20 hours every week. But can you get a job while you're schooling? Yes. If you get a job, and you can also get a full-time job. So if you get a job that is part-time, let's say, and they pay you £100 an hour, you have made it, So it just depends. You just need to make sure you're obeying the rules of your your visa category. So that means you cannot work more than 20 hours in a week. As long as you get a good job, yes, you can work. Just stay within the limit so you don't put yourself in trouble. Okay, next question about all right, so number 4 is not masters. Number 5, I'd like to get information on how to work in the UK and have a permit to stay. How to work in the UK. So if you're doing your masters, you have the right to work for 20 hours every week during term time. After school, so on the holidays and stuff, you can work as long as you want. So yeah, you can work while you're doing your masters. Working in the UK in general, you have to have the right to work, because if you're not doing it, you're doing illegal work. You can get yourself into trouble. There's a lot of penalties. So yes, you have to have the right to work. You just have to get the job, and if you're working if you're a student, you don't need any other documents. But if you're not, then you have to have a job that would sponsor you, or otherwise you'd already have had a right to stay and work in the UK, and then you just get your job and you live your life. But if you're looking for a job that would give you a permit like you've asked for, you need one that would give you a sponsorship for a visa, and then you have to still apply to the terms of working within that job. I hope that answers that question. Number 6, for me, I need to know the options. All right, that's a more broad question, so I'll just save that for the end of this section. Number 7, we know everyone writes about, no, that's after the exams. That's actually a Plab exam right there, Plab question, but I won't say after this one. Number 8, that's post Plab again. How is it to get to residency? I just want to know how is it to get a job after passing Plab 2. What is the process? What are boards? Need information about masters, okay? Scholarship offers, etc. All right, so that's our last master's question there. I need information about masters, scholarship offers, etc. All right, so let's just run through that one. Now, masters in general is, obviously postgraduate education. Okay, so you have decided that you're finished your first degree. Now you want a postgraduate education degree, and you choose. A lot of people have asked me before all I gather these questions, what masters should I do? And I always find that quite confusing because I believe you should do what you like, what you want to do. Now let's clear this notion. I said this on the talk when I had this conversation with Dr. Peppel. This session should be coming to an end very soon. If you are coming to the UK just because you want to do a master's program, that means you're probably spending about 20k pounds because you want to do a master's program. That is a huge amount of money to spend on something you wouldn't need. Now, if you want to do your master's on the other hand, like you are passionate about it, or you just know this is something you want to do, your bucket list or whatever, that's a different story. Let your reason be a good reason. So if you want to do your master's, do it because you want to do it. Now, if that's the case, the question of what master's should I do should probably not be coming up. Pick what you like. If you like public health, go for public health. If you like global health, go for that. If you like nutrition, go for it. It doesn't really matter. So pick what you want to pick. Now, another question I used to get is, where should I do my master's? Again, pick where you want. Now, one good thing about the UK that I've noticed is nobody really cares where you study. You could you could do your master's in university in somebody's backyard. Well, obviously there's no university in anybody's backyard, but you could do university in that kind of environment, or you could go to Cambridge, and it wouldn't really make too much of a difference. They just know you went to the UK. That's fine. Now, some schools would brag that, oh yeah, they have high job, availability, yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You're a doctor, so do your master's wherever you want to do it. Many people ask me about cost. The UK is expensive. That's what I'm saying. If you don't need to do your master's, do not waste that kind of money trying to just get your foot in the system. That's the language a lot of people use. So there are other ways, there are better ways and easier ways to go about it. So if you want to do a master's, do what you want to do. Find one that's convenient for you. Find one that matches your pockets. If you have family members, maybe look for one around them so you could have, less avenue to spend money. Find one where you know people, right? You're probably going to be shifting continents or places, and all of that can be a bit unsettling. So find one that's ideal. Now, I want to share my screen briefly to answer some of the other questions, just to help those who are still going to probably ask, what should I do? So I'll stop sharing and then I'll start sharing again to answer the other. My laptop battery is low. Okay, so let's do this now. So I'm going to share, where's that page? This. All right. Okay, so now I opened this website. I came across this website, I don't know, years ago. It's a scholarship website, right? But before we even get to scholarships, let's open this one. This was a website I came across probably when I was still in school, because I just did a simple Google search. I knew that I wanted to come to the UK and I wanted to stay in Scotland. So I did not search for schools in England or Wales or Northern Ireland. I went straight to Scotland. I applied to about 5 schools. I got offers in about 4 of them, and that was it, right? So you pick what you want, because the application process is also going to be specific to that school. You're going to need to write a cover letter. You're going to need to get references. All of that, that's individual details. It's usually fairly explanatory when you start the process, but pick what you want. Now, for those that are asking, this is one website that could make it easy and streamline it for you, studyportals.com. Now, you just click that you're a student, which I'm going to do now, and then it's going to take you to a different site. You click Masters Portal, search for Masters, and then you just pretty much select what you want. What do you want to study? Pick a course. So let's say we want to do nutrition. Yeah. So we want to study nutrition and dietetics. We're United Kingdom. Take that and click search. And then it would bring you a load of programs that you now get to choose from. So here we have 93 master's programs offering nutrition or dietetics in one form or the other. So now you narrow it down, right? Now we want nutrition, we want dietetics, and then now you could see this option for tuition fee. Let's say we want a school that's fairly cheap. So we're going to 5,000 to 10,000 per year. Now, one thing to note is that you pay a higher school fees than everybody else as an international. So let's say if the British people are paying £3,000 per semester, you're probably paying £7,000 per semester. If the EU student is paying, let's say, 5,000, you're probably paying 10, 12,000. So your school fees is more than that, but then still try to narrow it down, start from somewhere. So now let's see this one at Leeds University. Okay, now see this one at London. One thing that I should probably just say as a disclaimer, London is bloody expensive, more expensive than the rest of UK. So if you're thinking about doing a master's, maybe don't start with London, except you have family or you really, really want to do it. London is very, very expensive. So come to other parts of the UK. Like I said, doesn't really matter. So just do it. Obviously, it's still your decision to make. I'm not giving any expert advice in that regard. So here, let's say we want to go to this one in Worcester. Nutritional therapy, for example. So now we can see that it's a full-time MSc. Perfect. So here we see it's going to be for a year and a half. Your tuition is 7,000, and this is in euros. I'm not too sure why. 7,814 euros. You can apply anytime. Start date is September 2020. Okay. You see information about the school. My battery's low. You see information about the school, you see the program structure, you see everything you want to do. You might need to register so you're able to really see through, but this is just one website you could use to go through masters. So I think I'm just going to probably round this video here and then start with the other one. But if you want to do your masters, make sure you're doing what you want to do. Pick a place that works for you. Look at your pocket, look at everything, and just pick where works for you. But those that ask me about scholarships, let's now quickly see the other websites. Now, like I said, I've known this website a while ago, scholarship-physicians.com. One good thing about this website is you can find scholarships at pretty much any school. Many times, you would need to already have had an admission. The bad thing about it is it's very non-specific. You might also find information that has been here for a while, but I mean, it's somewhere to start from. Also, so like I said, scholarship-position.com is just up there, so you can see it. If you are also looking for scholarships, the best place to start with is at the university's own website. So you've done your research, you've picked where you want to go to, you go to their website and you look for scholarships. There's usually information and resources to guide you. Another thing, pick up the phone and call them. Many times they're very eager to answer calls and just to help you or send an email or fill a contact form. So these things are usually fairly straightforward. So do a Google search. Google is your friend, and that should hopefully be sorted. All right, so I'm going to end this video now, and I'm just going to go on to plug my laptop in and do the other part. How do I stop sharing? But yeah, so hopefully this, I'm probably going to title this as masters or something, but that is that about this particular one. So let's see how the other ones get on. I'm going to stop sharing. Yeah, so see you in the next video, which should be recorded very soon. All right, bye-bye. If you have any questions, please leave them down Like this video. Don't be stingy with your fingers. Like the video, share it to somebody who needs it. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and see you in the next one.